is my favorite webinar because this is a fun one. This is all about building a business for free. Okay, it's about getting repeat business, which is the cheapest source of cash flow you will ever find. All right, we'll run into some numbers in a sec, but just roll with me. It's going to be fun. Okay, customer loyalty. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about having people who come back again and again, and it's not because they're blindly loyal, because of an overwhelming source of they want to buy from you just because. It's because of what you do and how you do it and how your offering is presented again and again. It's that consistency, it's that excellence, it's that difference, that real point of difference that you've got compared to all of your competitors. It's because you do more, okay? You exceed their expectations, and that's why they're loyal. That's why they come back. All right? And it's not necessarily about spending money. It's not necessarily a case of buying them in the door, because that's counterproductive. Right? It's about the fact that you do more than your competitors. All right, hang on, just drag this over here a bit. There we go. It's about the fact that people expect a good product and a good service. That's a minimum standard. All right? And everybody does that, you know, more or less, okay? And more or less most of the time, kinda. You want them to come back time and again. You want them to not even look at your competitors or simply look at it sheer curiosity and then come back. Consistently exceed their expectations. All right, we're going to run through a whole lot of ways we can do that. And it's not just about having a smiley face at the counter, although that does help. All right, there's a whole lot of different strategies you can use. You might want to use one of them. You might want to use all of them. Actually, that would be kind of cute. All right, that would be good. But you will find something today that will help you bring people back in. Okay, and it won't be 90 minutes. This is a 2-hour workshop that's very interactive that I'm running here, crammed into 1 hour. We'll run right to the hour, I can guarantee you on that. Okay, and like I said at the start, we're not spending money. Okay, actually, let me rephrase that. The vast majority of these little tactics don't require any money at all. It's all about systems, process, attitude, the way you do business. There are a couple of things where if you want to, you can spend some dollars, but the return is there. Okay, it'll be money very well spent. Okay, and here's the underlying theme. This is what we're all talking about. You want to be a penguin in a duck pond, because trust me, people look out of business and all they see is lots of ducks. Right? Everyone's the same, except for the one penguin who stands out. So they go check out the penguin because it's different. Right? It's not the same as all the other ducks, clearly, because penguin. Right? That's where you want to be. You want to be that penguin. Now, I don't say that flippantly, and I don't mean penguin in a comic, oh my goodness, slapstick sort of way, you know, like Jim Carrey on LSD. What I'm talking about is standing out, okay, for all the right reasons. And he's a happy little penguin. Like, you look at him, what a cheerful little fellow. And humor and happiness is a big part of how you get people to come back. But anyway, moving right along. Okay, we haven't got a lot of time here, so let's get into it. Whoa, come back a second. And this is why you want to be that penguin. Okay, vanilla, good grief. Vanilla it's the ice cream flavor. It's so bland. Okay, you don't want to be vanilla. Everybody's vanilla. You want to be, oh, I don't know, not salted caramel. It's a bit, you know, trendy. But you want to provide an experience. That's what we're talking about. Providing experience is extraordinary. Something they'll remember and talk about for the right reasons. And I mentioned that a lot today. You want people talking about you for the right reasons, okay? And it's just improvements, just habits. It's system, process, habits, okay? How you greet and talk with your customers, right? To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being talked at by people in shops, okay? And online being talked at by chatbots and by help people who just don't get it, okay? I want to be talked with. I want a communication. I want to be two-way, right? Uniforms, your logos, your branding, okay? Your store layout, and not just when your customers walk into your bricks and mortar store, your online store layout. How's that working for them? Like, you get, if you want to test it, you have a family member or a friend who just doesn't do business with you and say, hey, listen, walk into my store. Tell me, how easy is it to navigate? How easy is it to find what you want to find? Are we welcoming? Do you want to do business with us based on that experience? And if the answer is no, or if the answer is less than enthusiastic, then you've got a customer experience problem. Go back and fix it. All right. Improvement. All right. Client education. Do you even, who does that these days? All right. If you want to make a point of difference with your clients, if you want to weld them to your business, teach them. Bring them into the tribe, become inclusive. All right. And we'll talk about inclusion in a couple of times down the track here in the next hour. It's powerful. All right. Very, very powerful. Bring them into your business, bring them into the secrets. All right. After sales support. Now, I don't mean after sales support in terms of, oh my God, it's broken, I've got to fix it, I've got a warranty claim. It's more a case of, you provided a solution, right? And that's why we're in business. Like, let's face it, we're in business to provide solutions to problems. So you provided a solution. You check and make sure the solution actually fixed the problem. Now, that's not always relevant to some businesses. Okay, if you're selling Mars bars, you're not going to ring everybody who bought a Mars bar off you and say, "Hey, mate, you still hungry?" But if you're selling bigger ticket items, if you're solving bigger problems, if it's more of a one-off solution, check with them. Make sure the solution is the right one, and if there are issues, deal with it. Okay, and I'll talk about that a bit later as well. Right? And this is the whole thing. We're not spending money. We're just basically getting a bit of courage together and going, bang, let's make some little changes and bring it back in. And this is the big one. This is the one that I want everybody to do this. Okay, understand the business you're in. Like, seriously, actually really understand the business you're in. And if you're a lawyer and you tell me you're in the legal business, I'm going to smack you. All right. You're not in the legal business. Okay. And the hairdressing salon is a classic example. Client of ours, less than a kilometre that way. Figured out when we were talking that she's actually not in the business of colour cut, tint, curly stuff. They're in the self-esteem business. Right? Their whole reason for them being in business is to make women feel better when they walk out the door. Okay, and I say women deliberately because I don't think they have one male client. It's not where they're at. It's not their target market. And once they understood that and got that ethos through to the staff, turnover and bookings went, phew, thank you very much. And it wasn't just increase in haircuts. It was the value add, the accessories, the product, the extra expensive services, more color, more this, more that, because the women walked out the door feeling like $1 million. They felt special. Okay, and once they got focused on the fact that it was all about the self-esteem, everything they did was about making their client feel good about themselves. Once they committed to that, their business went gangbusters. Right, ridiculous. Put on more staff. They had people wanting to stock on a consignment basis their accessories like earrings, jewelry, that sort of stuff. It was just amazing. I mean, it was really a beautiful thing to watch. So come back a step and have a look at your business and really think about what's the business you're in, and then make that the focus of everything you do. Make it the focus of your branding, of your performance rewards, of everything you do. Okay, you do that and you are approximately 78 miles ahead of your competitors. Okay, because I guarantee you the vast majority of businesses don't do that. They're so focused on their solution they're providing, they're kind of forgetting about the other side of the transaction and saying, well, hang on, really, what are we doing? Okay, they're selling widgets when in fact what they're doing is they're keeping their customers mobile. Right, that's the shift in mindset that they're missing. So value your customers. This will get mentioned once or twice today, I guarantee you, because this is crucial. Now, we know the gold, we know everyone sort of values them, but I mean, truly value them. And I've got down the bottom there, I said, look, diarise to meet them. If you've got a CRM, use it, like actually really use it. Fire it up. They're powerful things. If you haven't got one, get one. Okay, and I know I've spoken earlier in other webinars, I said, listen, just worst case scenario, have a diary sitting next to the phone and just record critical events in your customer's day that you know about that are going to make a difference. Whether it's just their birthday, that's a simple thing. A simple thing is just remember their birthday, send them a card. Okay, and the reason that I'm hammering this is that market research shows time and again that about 70%, I think it's 68%, give or take, of customers feel undervalued. And they don't come back because they just walked in and said, I was just treated like a number. They just wanted my money. Right? That's a huge opportunity for you. Okay. 70% of your clients feel undervalued. Now, if you go back and show them that you value them by just remembering little things, like even their names, for crying out loud, how hard is it? Okay. Their names, little milestones, you know their kid's got a graduation coming up, just mention it and congratulate them on it. It's simple, 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 easy to say, simple to implement, and then you need the discipline to stick with it and make sure it happens, okay? And in that regard, a good CRM will help. It really will help. I'm not going to recommend any one over the other because different industries need different tools. Okay, personally, I use HubSpot because it suits what I do. I've also got Click because that suits another. We're sort of measuring the two off against each other. All right. But if you're in a different business to me, you may need something entirely different. All right. Do some research, plug them in. There's actually a stack of free, like low option, but free CRMs out there that will do this for you. Okay. Get into it. It's worth the effort. Now, this is why. This is why people don't buy your goods or services. This will come up again later. Okay, they buy the relationship with you, the magic, the wonder of doing business with you. Okay. And now Seth Godin, if you don't know who he is, check him out on YouTube. He's a guru when it comes to business relationships. All right, and he's dead right there. They don't buy your widget. It's the they buy you. That's why they're doing business. They do business with you. People do business with people. All right, they don't do business with a cash register. All right, so put some magic into what you're doing. Now, just talked about that, important events. One other thing about important events is that you have important events. So you may have a new product line coming out. You may have some regulatory change, which is going to impact your customers. Put an event on, okay? Now, I'll talk about this later in more detail, but this is one of the times, this one, okay, these two things I'm mentioning here on this slide are the real two things where we're going to spend some money. Customer events, all right, talk about that later in more detail, and the handwritten card. When was the last time you got a handwritten card in the mail? I mean, when was the last time you got anything in the mail that wasn't a bill? Right? Nobody posts stuff these days. It's all electronic. It's all impersonal. It's all AI. It's pre-done. There's no you in that. There's no magic in that at all. But you go to letterbox and there is an envelope, handwritten, hand addressed to you, and inside just a note saying, "Hi, thanks for doing business with us. We really appreciate it." In ink, like actually handwrite with a pen. You can see it. There's still the indentation in the paper. You can feel it. And you can feel the fact that they've gone to the effort of handwriting a note. Like I get handwritten notes in the letterbox from real estate agents. I know the font because I use it myself sometimes. Okay. It's not handwritten at all. It just looks it. Get a pen, get some paper, get some envelopes and some stamps, and blow your customers away. Okay. Like seriously, that is a real point of difference. Okay. And I'm not just saying that glibly. I've seen it happen again and again where you've got that personal touch and people remember it and they talk about it. And they're talking about it positively because it's such a different magic thing. Hello, suddenly we have a customer who is advocating for you. You've got a marketing department out there building your business for free. That's kind of cool. All right, it really is. Now, give it a crack. Trust me, just give it a crack. Right? And the bottom line on the slide, like it is easy. Like really, we're not reinventing the rocket. Okay, we're just treating people the way we would like to be treated. Like simple stuff. Okay, now product knowledge. This will probably pop up once or twice, but it's about bringing people in. Okay, people want to belong to something. It's human nature. They want to be included. They want to be part of the tribe, part of the team. Okay, and they want to trust the people they're doing business with. Okay, so we've got two powerful things there. They want to belong and they want to trust you. Well, I don't know. How about we educate them? How about we teach them what it is that we do? We teach them about our products and not what the product is, not what it's made of, not how it turned up on their shelf, but talk about how it solves their problems. Right? And we kind of do that most times in a roundabout way, but make it the focus of what you're doing. Okay, it's a solution. All right, so great. Assume your customer knows nothing. Okay, if you're sort of educating them with stuff they already know, they'll tell you if they already know what you're talking about, and then tell them how it's going to fix their problem. All right, about what it does, okay? Because you're selling solutions. That's what we do all the time. We just sell solutions. Now, you run this, and again, you've got customers out there talking about your business in a positive way about how you brought them into the fold. Now, they won't use those exact words, but that will be what they're communicating to their friends, their associates, their colleagues, their workmates. Pretty sure that's your free marketing team in action again, ladies and gentlemen, okay? This will delight your customers. Right? Now, they might not always be able to attend, but if you make the effort, you reach out and you show that you're prepared to include them in the business, to bring them in and to educate them for free, happy days, happy days, okay? Now, in terms of that education, if you want to find out where they're at, just use simple questions. All right? Make sure they understand what your solution is going to do, how to implement it, and how you're going to back it up. And with your educational material that you're providing, right, video is king. Okay, I should have put a capital V on video. My goodness. Use your website, YouTube, LinkedIn, Insta, Facebook, TikTok if you must. Not sure about that from an educational point of view. It's a bit too short format for my likings. But you teach people what it is you do and how to implement your solution, okay, your sales will respond. You're not, all you're doing is providing education. It's not a sales pitch, just provide the education. But you do that and your sales will respond. And I'll give you an example of that. Another client of ours polishes, like a floor sander, polisher, varnisher guy, okay, lovely bloke, like really salt of the earth guy. Now, speaking to him beginning of last year, just before the lockdown and business breakfast, and we're talking about marketing, and in particular video came up. And when we were chatting to him after the talk, he said, look, you know, he kind of liked the idea, but he's not a video guy. Like, he's just an ordinary sort of bloke, got no skills, got no ability, no nothing, and all he does is polish floors. And our response was, hey, listen, we'll tell you what, how about, look, you've got no training, no scripting, no nothing. Brilliant. Keep it real, because keeping it real counts. It is more powerful than having a scripted, polished, choreographed, directed to the last second performance, for one. Two, don't sell anything. Right? You're not a salesman. You say that, that's great. That'll work in your favor. All we're going to do is teach people what you do. So just do before and after. Okay, keep it down to about a minute, because once you go over a minute, you lose people. Their attention span's too short these days. Keep it to a minute and just say, look, there's this beautiful house. These are the floors. They're made of this, and then cut. Do what you do, and then come back and show the finished off floor and talk about what you did. Do that. In fact, if you've got an offsider, get them to actually video you doing it. He did that. 1, 2, 3 videos later, he was working 6 days a week, pushing 7 some weeks. Right? Ridiculous. His business went through the roof. And then he went really, and then he did something which is just amazingly stupid. I can't believe he did this. He's got, like, when you think about polishing floors, you think about dust. All right, there's sanding floors, there's dust everywhere. He has a machine from Italy that is dustless. I mean, literally, this thing has got such a powerful vacuum and such a good bagging system. There's no dust. And so what he did was, he said, next video, hi, this is my new dustless machine from Italy. Talked a little bit about the engineering and then showed it in action. Oh my goodness. There's no dust. Like, this thing is just doing its thing, up and down, crossing sides. There's no dust. 7 days a week, he booked out for months just on that one video. Powerful, ladies and gentlemen. He wasn't selling anything. He was just showing people what he did because he was proud of his business. He does a great job. Like, he's a good operator. And bang, business took off. So, education. I cannot emphasize that too much. All right. Now, and this is the whole thing about that education, is that what you're doing is you're solving the problem. Come back here. All right, there we go. Now, it's a fine line between solving a problem and selling to people. Right. So do yourself a favor, don't cross it. All right. No one likes being sold to. Okay. And now, look, we see it coming a mile away now, and it just puts people off. So solve the problem. Okay. Sell them what they require to fix their issues. All right. Now, you're probably going to miss out on a bit of revenue. Okay. But that's very short-term thinking. Okay. That whole McDonald's, do you want Coke, fries, upselly? Don't do the upsell thing. Okay. It turns people off. All right. What you want to be doing is the cross-sell if there's a legitimate need. Okay. If when you're talking and there's actually another problem that you can solve, give them the opportunity to solve it with you. Okay. But don't do the whole hammer, oversell thing. Oh, one other thing. Remember we were talking before about people want to do business with people they trust. Okay, you want that trust and loyalty. If you can't solve the problem, just tell them. Might be right up front. See if you can find another solution for them elsewhere that you may not even make any money out of. But the whole point of the exercise is long-term value. Okay, it's not about getting an extra $5 or $10 today. It's about building long-term value, long-term loyalty, a marketing team you don't have to pay, who have got more credibility in the market than you will have, because people listen to other people. They don't listen to what you're saying. Okay. Just while I'm on that, it's a bit of a diversion. More people get product recommendations from random strangers they've never met and have no idea about than they get from experts. It's weird, but time and again, the research shows that people go to YouTube, or they'll go to Quora, or they'll go to Yotpo, or they'll look up review sites, and they will make purchasing decisions based on what these random strangers have said rather than what an expert will say about a product. Is what it is, which is excellent news. Okay, that's great news because we can leverage that by doing this. Okay, prejudgment. I'm going to run through a few things quickly now because they're all blindingly obvious, but we tend to do them because we're just not in the, it's a habit thing. Okay, it's a little bit human nature, a bit habity. Okay, prejudgment, do not do it. Okay, we know it's silly. I had a bit of an issue with this with a couple of younger staff a few years ago with one of our businesses, and that was just kids being kids. All right, in their early 20s, didn't know much better, so we jumped on that. And I was like, when people walk in the door, I said, I don't care what they look like, I don't care what they're wearing, I don't care whether they're male, female, left-handed, spotted, it doesn't matter. I don't care if they smell, although some did, it doesn't matter. Okay, we're there to solve their problems. So don't prejudge. Okay, solve the problem and then we're good to go. And again, you don't prejudge somebody and suddenly, in some cases, you're building their self-esteem. Okay, you're showing that you value them. You want to listen to what they've got to say. You want to fix their problem. You're not turning your nose up at them because you don't like the way they look. You don't like their gender, their race, their religion, or anything. Okay, you want to fix the problem. You want to help them fix their problem. Now, you want client advocates. You treat people like that. And you see how you go. It will work. As in the past, will in the future. And this is why. Okay, Mary Kay Ash. If you don't know her, big cosmetics business, huge back in the 80s. And this is why, because she treated everybody. And this is the mantra for the business, is you treat them like they've got a big sign around their neck saying, hey, make me feel important, please. Okay, now you treat people like that, okay, and you will succeed. Okay, your business will grow. Right? It's just human nature that you're tapping into. It doesn't cost you a cent. It's a habit. You get into the habit, you have the discipline, and you have that genuine need to solve the problem and make them feel important, and you win. It's simple as that. You cannot lose. Now, follow-up. We all know about follow-up as part of the sales process, okay? You've got that whole cold call thing, you're talking to new clients, as a prospect gets in touch, 95 times out of 100, they won't, you've got to initiate the follow-up. You've got to follow up and keep it going, keep that conversation going, keep the process going to make the sale. But you know where the real money's at, the cheap money, is in the post-sale follow-up. And I mentioned this right at the start. Okay, just touch base once you've sold them something. Once you've fixed their problem, touch base and make sure that you've really fixed their problem. They're satisfied. They've got questions, answer them, deal with it. Because what you get then is you get your penguin in a duck pond moment. That's where you've stood out from the crowd. You're different, because most competitors don't do that. Okay, they don't have the time. They don't have the discipline. And that's what we're coming down to, the discipline to do things again and again. Now, I mentioned this earlier, okay, in passing. If you don't know, just say so. All right. Don't try and sell an almost solution. All right. If you don't know everything, if you haven't got the solution for their problem, okay, admit it, and then see if you can fix it some other way for them. So by going that extra mile, you're going to reinforce the relationship. Again, another penguin moment, and then follow up on that and make sure it got fixed. All right, you're going to surprise them, okay, and then the next time they've got a problem, they'll come back to you, and that's what you want. You want them coming back to you, coming back to you, coming back to you. Now, just to come back on the numbers on that for a second, repeat custom, 70% cheaper than buying in a new customer. Like your acquisition costs are 3 times what they are for a new client than what they are for an existing client. All right, so you want to cut. So again, it's money for nothing. It really is money for nothing. So follow up. Now, we mentioned this earlier. Okay, there, we love our customers. Okay, grab that graphic. You can have that. That's kind of cool. This is why. Have some events, and this is the second thing where we're looking at maybe spending some money. Okay, run events to show you love your customers. Right, educate them. Okay, keep the focus on them. You're not necessarily selling anything. It's an education. It's a reward for them. Okay, use it. I'm not a fan of just having a wine and cheese night or come around to the workshop and watch the footy. Okay, I don't see the value in that from a business point of view. When you could do something, you could spend exactly the same money, make exactly the same effort, and bring in a speaker from industry, a new product line for them to investigate, make it a education zero sales moment and advertise it as that and conduct it as that. You run those where you're bringing people into the tribe, right? You're sharing with them, you're trusting them, and you're building your marketing team right there and then. Okay, it's a brilliant investment. One thing about that, reminders. Okay, text is king by a mile. All right, you want people to engage with your reminder. You want them to act on it. Send them a text. Second option will be use a messenger service like Facebook or Instagram. Emails is a distant fourth. Okay, I do a phone call before I do an email because people just ignore emails these days. There's too many of them. All right, but you want engagement. You want to get them to turn up. Nothing beats a text. Right now, consistency. Now, I spoke a bit about this yesterday, actually, in terms of systems and processes, about how you build a business and how you add that long-term value and how you make it easier to exit. Now, one of the other benefits of having systems and processes are that once you've identified something that works for you, that provides that excellent customer experience, write it down, build a system and around that process so that you can duplicate it and you provide that excellence consistently. Okay, every customer, every time. Now, that's a very cute mantra, and we see it a lot in different businesses, and not everybody executes it. But I'll give you a tip for free. You put in place that process, you put that little mantra up in front of your team, and your chances of executing it are vastly better than if they don't have it in front of them and you don't have the system and you don't have the process. Okay, so find something that works. Find a way of doing business that delights your customers, and then systemize it, make it a process. All right, write it down, create a knowledge hub where your team can refer to it. Like, this is how we do business, and this is why, and this is the outcome we expect. So they know. So you don't have to be there constantly supervising and training and mentoring. You've got a process that does that for you. Okay. Now, emotions matter. Oh yeah. Now, business is all about the numbers. I spoke about that on Tuesday. It's the numbers. It's the numbers. You want to make your decisions based on data. All right. But if you don't get the emotions right, you're not going to get any data. I'll tell you that now. Okay. You think about how you want your customers to feel, about how they want to feel when they're walking in the door and when they walk out the door. Okay. When they're doing business with you, work that out. Okay? I mean, ask them, guys, when you walk out the door, how do you want to feel? You know, what sort of relationship do we want to have here? Okay. And then again, system and process, make that a recurring event. Okay. What do you have to do to make your customers feel the way they want to feel when they walk out the door, which will bring them back the next time? Right? Make it a recurring event. Now, feedback. As I just said, ask your customers about how you want them to feel. Well, business improvement. Spoke about this yesterday as well. The day you start improving is the day you first go into business, the day you open the door the first time you walk in. And I've done that. I've walked into a brand new fit out, new premises, new offices, and just gone, oh, you know, how good is this? It's all sparkly and new, and we're all pumped. We've got this new solution to offer the market. And then I sit down and look around it, and after about half an hour, I think, okay, what can we do better? Right, now, the reason I do that is that I love solving problems. I like fixing stuff, okay, making businesses better. It's what I do, okay? So one thing I did with that was I asked my customers as we're doing business, look, okay, that was great. Okay, we're happy with what we've done. How could we have done better? Okay, what could we have done that would have made that transaction more satisfying for you? And you're going to do two things. One, customers going to feel valued. That makes them stickier. They're going to lock onto you. And two, they will talk about it and they'll tell their friends, which then puts your marketing team at work for nothing. Thank you very much. And you've got this new customers coming in who have an expectation of how they're going to be treated, which is the way they'll get treated because you have a system and a process that provides that solution in that excellent way every time. Third thing it does is that it actually improves the business so that when a new customer comes in because of a different marketing channel, they are pleasantly surprised by the solution that you deliver to them because it was not what they expected. Now, reviews, please don't rely on Google reviews. Okay, now you're not going to get away from them, but don't rely on them. Put in place your own review system. Trustpilot, Yotpo, there's a stack of them out there that actually ask the customer for the review and ask it in a way that you want it asked. They're asking the questions that you want answers to. Okay, do that. Follow the reviews up. Look, you don't have to engage in a 5-paragraph conversation with every review. Okay, but what you might want to do is a simple response saying, thanks for your review. Appreciate the fact you took the time to have a chat with us. With the two things, negative reviews, get on them, have a process, address the issues. If you can't fix the issue, say so and say why. Okay, and then kill it. That's the end of that conversation. Do not engage long term. Second thing, fake reviews. Deal with them. Google are not necessarily easy to get rid of when it comes to fake reviews. There are companies like Removify that do that for you. They have got that down to a fine art. Make the effort, because fake reviews can kill your business. We all know that. There are so many examples out there. It's not funny. It's not even a bad joke anymore. All right, get on them. But here's the key: consistency and process. All right, when you get feedback, get in touch. Good, bad, or left-handed, get in touch and deal with it. Now, simple, plan A. We live in an increasingly complex world. We all know that. We see it every day. Simplicity is king. It's more valuable than it ever was. I'm not saying that's easy. All right. Sometimes we are providing complex solutions to complex problems, and that's fine. That is what it is. But try and make it as simple as possible. Now, look at the iPhone. You got it, like the original iPhone would have been smaller than this. Okay, sorry, my little phone, smaller than that. A whole lot of very complex devices in one device with a very simple interface. Hello, market leadership in a heartbeat. Now they are not the market leader now in terms of numbers of phones or in terms of iOS take up. But what they are is every time they are the market leader, because every time they do something, people are scrambling to catch up. Everybody is trying to catch up with them. And that's why they charge a premium. That's why they make so much money, because they make it simple. Okay, they listen to what the customer wants and they make it simple. Now, when it comes to that, particularly with your educational material, if you can get rid of the jargon, get rid of it. Okay, it's a killer. Is your written material easy to understand? Are your videos clear and concise? Okay, do you make it simple? And sometimes, oh my goodness, sometimes making it simple doesn't mean taking stuff out. Sometimes it means putting stuff in so that people can understand what it is or how it is you're trying to help them. Okay, and a classic example of that, like my studio lights here, they're beautiful, bright, happy days. They turn up in a box in about 15,000 pieces, which is fine. Wife and I, no dramas. We put this stuff together all the time. It's no big deal. We're kind of tech literate. We kind of got it. And then we looked at the instruction manual, which was literally a little strip of paper folded over with a couple of diagrams on it and about 17 words across 9 pages. Oh my goodness. Simplified to the point of useless. The pictures didn't even look like the parts that were in the box. And when you looked at the diagrams, they didn't even show you how to put it together. Now, we got them together, clearly. They're working. Yep, happy days. They are great. But that was simplification gone wrong. They could have actually made a one-pager, more words, bigger pictures, spent an extra 3 cents on their documentation, and we would have been a lot happier with the process. Okay. Now, when it comes to simplifying the solution about how you provide it and how it's implemented, don't forget to ask your customers, A, feedback, trust, inclusiveness, B, they're the guys implementing the solution, so they may have some idea of how to make it easier. All right. Talk to them, engage with them. Now, we know when to stop talking. Yeah, I've heard that before. People say that to me a lot. And when it comes to sales, it's that genuine drive and excitement. Okay. And I suffer from that. My goodness, I love solving problems. I get really pumped about it. Like right now, where I'm just yapping and yapping. Okay. And I've killed sales. I have literally watched them die in front of me because I talk too much. I talk people into the sale and I talk them straight out. Listen more, talk less. My goodness, my parents have said so many times, one mouth, 2 ears, mate, use them. Try the 70-30 rule. Okay, 30 talk, 70 listen. The 30% talk, split it 15 and 15. Don't do the 30% at the start. It won't work for you. All right. And easily just ask open-ended questions. If you want to train your staff how to do this and get your team into the position where they're getting valuable information from the client, train them in how to do open-ended questions, right? Converse. There's courses on that. through ASBAS, we run courses on that. It's, it's critical. Like this is, if there's one thing that you get out of today, it's this, right? That communication, that asking open-ended questions so that you understand the customer's problem, not what you think the customer's problem is. You really get it, okay? And we'll get on a bit later about how you communicate that. Now, okay, we'll do it now. It's right here. Have you listened and understood? And this is the other part. This is the other side of that one, is that it's not just that you've listened. Your customer needs to know that you understand what they've said. Okay, now you know what they're saying. They've got to know that you know what they're saying. All right, and simple. This is a simple thing to teach your team. Just basically paraphrase back to them what they've said to you. Okay, use some of the trigger words. Okay, so you're frustrated here. All right, so this would solve your frustrations. This would fix your problem. All right, once they know that you understand their problem, now you can talk about how you can fix it and provide a solution. All right, you want to value the customer, you do this. This is cheapest chips. This is the one thing you should take away from this. If you're not already doing it, if your team aren't already doing this, get them on board. Now we'll just go back a couple of slides to where we were. Complaints. Remember I was talking about review systems before. The reason they're so critical is that 4% in Australia, 4% of clients will complain to you face to face, and the vast majority of them are way outside their comfort zone because people hate confrontation. They will avoid it now because they've got an easy out. It's called the online review. Right? They'll bang one in there and you'll never see them again. Now, what this is a huge opportunity. Right? It's not a problem, it's an opportunity. Okay, you can create a loyal customer, maybe not necessarily the person you're conversing with, but somebody who reads the review simply by seeing what the customer thinks the solution is and listen to what they have to say or write, right? And then fix it if you can. And if you can't, let them know that you can't, and get on to it and get it done. Now, one other trick with this, okay, is empower your team to fix problems. Now, this is in a largely a bricks and mortar type of thing where you are dealing with the customers face to face and they do come in and complain, or there is a problem that they're trying to fix up with something that you've done for them. Okay. Set some parameters, give them a sandbox to play in, and then get out of the way and let them do it. Right. That'll have two benefits. One, the customer will not be referred to the manager or told to wait until you come back or whatever. Their problem gets dealt with by the person they've complained to. That's powerful. So rare in today's businesses. The second thing, and that's assuming the problem is within the sandbox, okay? Let's not be silly here. There's some problems that really need your personal touch. But for a lot of them, your staff can deal with it. Let them do it. Second thing is you've got staff then who are empowered to fix problems. That is a big thing because you're showing trust, you're building the team, and you're freeing your time up to do income generating activity, okay? So have a crack. We've done that in the past with one of our businesses where I said to the staff, here are the parameters. If somebody comes in with these issues, sorry about that. Somebody comes in with these issues, all right, you can fix them. Okay, you can spend up to this much money to fix it, or you can do this, this, and this. All right, they're your options. All right, go for it. You don't need to refer to me. If you play inside that sandbox, you're good as gold. All right, no comeback at all. You're empowered. Go. Wonderful. I started freeing up my time from niggly little stuff that really could have, should have, and then was solved at the front counter. Okay. Be able to get a little bit of control. See what happens. It's worth it. Sometimes you're going to spend money you really wish you hadn't spent, but long term, that's so much cheaper than having a dissatisfied customer out there talking about the bad experience they had. And dissatisfied customers talk. All right. The whole point of today is to build up an army that beats them out. Okay. Now, truly memorable customer service. We spoke about this right at the start. Good customer service, quality product, that's a minimum. Go above and beyond, all right? And it's about taking time to understand your customers. And I'm repeating this because this is the mantra that you need to have through your business, okay? Truly memorable customer service. We're talking about stronger relationships with your customers, long-term customers who not only provide you with additional opportunities to problem solve and generate revenue, but bring their friends with them. Okay, and that's what we're all talking about today. That's the whole point, is to build that army that bring their mates with them, and then you do business with them, and away we go. Okay, spoke about that. Now, sorry. Remember I said with Seth Godin that people don't care about what it is you do. They're doing business with you for the magic. And that's because they don't care about your product or service. Like, no one cares about purple left-handed widgets. Like, really, no one cares about them. I'll tell you what they're interested in, what they love, is what the purple left-handed widget does for them. Okay, it's the problem solving. All right. So when you're talking to the customers, talk about how this is going to change their world. Like, don't talk about the machining techniques that made the widget or the special blend of purple paint, because fundamentally, end of the day, they don't care. They're not interested. But what the special blend of purple paint on that tricky machined widget does, that's pretty cool. And that's what they're interested in. So talk about that. All right. It's all about what it does. It's about the solution. It's not about how you or what you use to deliver the solution. All right. No one cares about the product. Okay. Now, ooh, this is my favorite one. Humor. Make them smile. Good grief. World is so serious. All right. Humor has power. It builds relationships. It opens up those lines of communications. Even if you've got the worst dad jokes in the world, of which I have 708,000 of. All right. It just gives people a story to share. Okay. It brings them in. It helps them to belong. It makes your place of business that much better to be in. All right. Puts a smile on their face. Okay. So, and again, have your feet down the bottom there. Penguin duck pond. This is another penguin moment. Okay. If you go into a business where it's an engaging workplace, right? So whether you walk in the door to the shop or you online, it's a little hard. You know, you've got to be careful being funny online. Not everybody has a sense of humor. But when you're talking about dealing with people face to face, make it a happy place. Okay. Penguin, duck pond, stand out for the right reasons. Just a little bit. Doesn't have to be over the top, but stand out. Now, your secret sauce. I was speaking before about client education. Don't be afraid to explain this. Okay? Because really, and I've talked about this before, and it was once mentioned by someone that they said, look, you know, I'm giving away all my secrets. It's like, well, mate, not really. Okay. Yeah, you're telling people what it is that's unique about the way you solve their problems. Okay. You're not telling them how to do it. And to be honest, ideas aren't worth anything. The money's in the execution. Right? You're telling people how it is. Like, how many of your clients are really going to go into business competing with you? Really? Okay. Bring them in. Okay. It's powerful. Now, we spoke before about the education nights of their clients. It's not just a sausage sizzle. It's a sausage sizzle with a reason. Okay. It brings a story. It gives them a story they can share. It brings others in. Okay. Don't be afraid to do it. And again, so your first access. This is what we're talking about. Give them first access to product lines. Bring them into events where suppliers are going to talk about these product lines, these new things that are going to make their life easier. It's no strings workshops. It's not sales. It's education. Okay. Now, it may be that they don't actually buy that solution, that it's not really for them. The need is past. It doesn't matter. They'll feel valued. If they feel valued, they'll talk about you in a positive way. If they talk about you in a positive way, then you've got your client advocates out there, and that's what this is all about. It's all about building business the easy way. Speaking of which, the telephone. Now, not many people ring up these days. So that first interaction is generally, you know, some sort of computer generated thing. But when you've got a live person on the phone, this is something we taught, again, another business, young staff taught them, guys, when the phone rings, before you pick it up, now we didn't close the computer screen down. So look, just look away from the computer screen for a moment, just focus on the phone, breathe, let it ring twice, for goodness sake, smile, pick the phone up and answer, and be pumped, be enthusiastic, because it's a chance to fix somebody's problems. How cool is that? You don't get that every day. Jump into it, have a good tagline, okay? I'll give you a classic example of that. I rang an education networking type of organization a little while ago, and the way the phone was answered was just like, really, mate, could you not have lifted it a little bit? It was just, I rang for a purpose, and the conversation was going to go ahead, but if I was a consumer and that was a testing phone call to see what the relationship's going to be like, would have failed. So pump it up. Don't be afraid. Penguin, duck pond. Now, don't be ridiculous, for crying out loud. I once answered the phone, mission control, NASA, but I only did that because I knew who was on the other end. And that's not something you want to do with a new client, I can tell you. So, handwritten notes. We spoke about this before. Okay. It's a little thing. It will cost a little bit of money. Not saying it's going to be free, but you want to stand out. Okay. It's a personal touch. If you're actually communicating with your clients and it's something that you can take a minute with, do it. A little investment, the return on that will be huge because, like I said, the letterbox, who gets stuff in the letterbox these days? Okay, you want to be that random penguin who stands out. Give this a crack. Okay, it works. It really does. No. Oh, the other thing. Yes, remember I was talking earlier. You can't always solve people's problems. All right, but you have a network of fellow business owners who possibly can. Now, when you're doing that, when you're building that referral network, your little black book, there's two things that I do. One is I have a framework, like we have an agreement in terms of how we do introductions and how we get feedback on that. So I get no surprise. If I refer somebody off to one of my people and there's an issue, I know about it from my people, not from the client. Okay, I find out first. I don't have the client come back in whinging in my ear, or worse still, I don't have them whinging about me because I sent them off to somebody dud. All right. And don't keep it to a short list. Right? If somebody asks you for a referral to an accountant, don't give them 15 accountants' names because that's not a referral, that's a phone book. Short list, a couple of people you trust to get the job done. All right. Now, be genuine. In case you haven't figured out, what you're seeing here is what you get with me pretty much every time, whether it's on camera or not. Okay. Because people do business with you. Remember what Seth Godin said right back at the start. Okay. It's the magic, it's the relationship. Okay. So be yourself. Right? Don't do the whole game face thing. Okay. I'm going to work on, don't do it. All right. Really, it's just be yourself. Okay. Don't do the whole business persona. Treat people the way you would treat your family and friends. So I talk to them the same way. Okay, bring them into the business. Make it clear that you're being inclusive, right? They're part of the team. Right? And jargon. Now, if you talk to everybody at home in jargon, then keep doing it. Clearly, that rocks your world. Okay, but if you can get rid of it, get rid of it. It's just not necessary. Okay, useful words. Okay. One other thing with that, yes. Spoke about this a fair bit on Tuesday in terms of building revenue, all right, and how you don't want to get caught in that race to the bottom with price. Take a moment to explain to people why, people will complain about price, okay, that's guaranteed, it's going to happen. Just explain to them why you charge what you charge. Now, with my stuff, I don't necessarily charge $5 a minute, and it has been mentioned in the past that sometimes the hourly rate seems a bit high. So that's cool because what you're not actually paying for an hour, you're paying for 35 years of experience distilled into 60 minutes fixing your problems. Now, that's the way it is. I don't chase to the bottom, and for the reasons you can't add value. There's no, you become a commodity. Okay, you are not a commodity. Don't do it. All right, cheap has a price. Okay, you just explain why you're worth what you're worth. Right, stand your ground. Okay? Now, one way of doing that is through rewards. So the problem with discounting is sometimes you trigger behavior. People simply wait for the discounts before they buy. That's going to smash your margins. You know that. And it's also going to smash your cash flow, which is just as bad. Okay. Valued clients, put in place a reward scheme. Okay. Don't necessarily discount for them, reward them. No, it's just a very subtle mind shift. But again, you're rewarding your long-term customers. The whole we value our customer theme in play. Right? Just do it. Okay, don't go the discount route. Look, if you must, bundle, but don't discount. Now, changing habits is tough. I just spent the last 50 minutes almost talking about building habits in your business that generate repeat custom, that bring people back again and again. Now, I'm not going to pretend this is easy. Okay, it is tough, changing habits. Now, the number one habit is deciding what your brand is. Like it's actually a tough thing to implement. You do that. You decide what your brand is. You make it the focus of everything you do. You bring your team along with you. You evaluate their performance by it. You market in that way. You do everything along the lines of what it is your brand means, what it is you really stand for, what your business is really about. You do that, which is tough. You do that, and the rewards will come your way. Okay, I've seen it happen again and again. Right, we've done it with clients. It works. Okay. Now, one other thing you can do. I'm actually going to run out of time here. I think. Wow. Okay, don't be afraid to be the industry expert, right? Be the go-to person. I've spoken all the way through about sharing with clients, educating clients. Okay, update your website so that your website is the go-to website for your industry. Okay, it's about clients making informed decisions. And yeah, if you're sharing knowledge with your competitors that they don't have, then I would suggest to you that they're not really in a position to compete with you anyway. Okay, they're playing catch up, and you are so far in front, you're going to stay there. Okay. Well, what you are doing, don't worry about your competitors, with your clients and your prospective clients, is you're showing that you trust them. You're demonstrating your expertise, and you're bringing them on board. And people do business with people they trust. Okay. Happy. Spoke about it before. Happy in the workplace. So I'm just keeping an eye on the clock here. That's all. So make sure I don't run out of time with you. Okay. It boosts productivity. That is proven time and again. The studies don't lie. Okay. And the reasons it does it is people aren't afraid to make mistakes. They make less mistakes. That boosts productivity. They fix problems and they don't complain about stuff. Okay. So there's less time wasted on issues. Boosts productivity. Makes more money. Happier people all around. Okay, they make better decisions, which means they make less mistakes. Okay, they get sick less often. They're there working, so they learn faster. It is just, there are so many reasons to make your workplace a happy workplace. Okay, so have a look when you walk in. Just think about how you can spark it up, because ultimately, as the leader in your business, it's your responsibility. Okay, that's your job. Okay, so Penguin, happy, be happy. Now, there's my contact details. Once again, thanks. Business Station, AusIndustry, RDA. These are the people who bring this to you. If you have questions, if you want to run some ideas past me, you want me to come in and have a chat, there's the contact details. Jump online, shoot me an email, shoot me a phone call, and I will help you in the little journey that we're all on. Okay, because that's what I do. Love doing it. Would love to talk to you about it. Thank you very much for your time. Cheers.